Good evening, everyone. My name is Rita. So tonight we'll be talking about test plan. I think I did mention that you guys should do a bit of research on the test plan. So after tonight's class, Mrs. Ayola wants each team to create their test plan. So hopefully tonight's class will help, and with a bit of research, you should be able to do it as a team. So we start with what is a test plan? So a test plan is a document that outlines the approach, objectives, resources, and schedule for a specific testing effort. It also serves as a guide for the testing process to ensure that all necessary steps are taken and to verify functionalities and performance of the software and the reliability of a software system. So basically, I've talked about this, what test plan is, but as we go further, we will get hold of it. To create a test plan, which we will get there, you need all the components of a test plan, which we will go into in a minute. But before then, a test plan also provides a comprehensive overview of the testing process, which includes the scope of testing and the testing tasks, as well as your environment setup, your deliverables, and the responsibility of the testing team. Mind you, each company, each organization do have different process of creating their test plans. So there is no right or wrong way about it. And we also have high level of test plan. We have low level in the sense that some have very, very comprehensive. So, but this is more or less like, I'd say the middle. We are not too low, we are not too high of what your test plan should consist or encompasses. So by also following a well-defined test plan, organization can ensure that their software system are thoroughly tested and meet required quality standard before deployment. So here is a diagram of your test plan. What should be in your test plan? So we have the test design, we have the test scope, we have the test objective, we also have the test environment, test tool, risk analysis, roles and responsibility. It could be more than this. So there's no one particular way of creating a test plan, but it should have the objectives, scope in it, and the deliverables, your test environment, almost everything that is listed here. So the rest is just going to be add-on. You are not taking away from this. If you are taking anything away, it would just be like maybe with a different name. It could also mean the same thing. But trust me, this is what should be in your test plan. So what encompasses a test plan? Title and introduction. You have objectives. And you also have scope. You have testing strategies. You have test deliverables. You have test environment. You have test schedules, roles and responsibility, risk and assumption, and approval. So which is 10. If you are taking, I'll just leave in case anybody's writing that down. Before I move to the next slide. Okay. So these are the key components of a test plan. What should be in your test plan? We have the title and introduction, which this session provides a brief overview of the test plan. It includes its purpose, scope, and objectives. So I've given an illustration. This is one of my projects I worked on, but the domain has been closed. So I created a website, like a gym website called Rita's Fitness. So that's where the name came in, but it's no longer in existence. So the title is Software Application Test Plan for Project Rita's Fitness. So it could be any name. So this is just an illustration. So that could be your title, the title of your test plan, or you could say Software Application Test Plan for Project 123, for Project ABC, things like that. Then you come to the introduction part. This is another example of the introduction part, which is the test plan outlines the approach and strategy for testing the software application developed as part of Project Rita's Fitness. It defines the scope of testing, outlines objectives, and identifies the intended audience for the document. So this is where you kind of list the things that will be foreseen as the person goes deeper into your test plan. So the title describes the content and the focus of the test plan. And mind you, your title should be clear and concise. I can't emphasize well enough on that. It should be clear and concise. You can see the way this one is just a software application test plan for Project Rita Fitness. So like as I said, it can be Project 123. You give it a name. Then and must indicate the project or system being tested. For example, like as I just said, AY, BZ, just like that. And for the introduction session, it should serve like as an opening statement. I mean, you could get a better one. So this is just an illustration for you to have an idea of what the introduction should look like. You can do better with you can do better than this. And you must as well provide an overview of the document and the setting for the stages for the subsequent sections. And that takes us to the next step of what, because then you start with your objectives, your scope, and all that then comes in. So one of the key components of test plan, after your title and your introduction, the next one is the objectives. So for objectives, you list the specific goals or outcomes that the testing effort aims to achieve, such as identifying defects and validating functionality or ensuring compliance with requirement. So you start by clearly defining the objectives of the test effort. What are the goals you want to achieve through testing? So in the objectives, you can have validating functionality, which is to ensure all features work correctly, confirming the system functionality. That should be one of your objectives. And secondly, you should be verifying the compliance, confirming the adherence to specifications and standard, ensuring that the complier meets with the requirements. Another key objective is assessing quality, identifying and resolving defects to improve overall product quality. So we also have ensuring reliability And we have mitigating risk. So identifying and addressing potential risks and vulnerability comes under your objectives as well. So that's like your aim. Like as I said, they said you list the specific goals. So I think I've listed 4. I'll take it again. Mitigating risk, ensuring reliability, and verifying compliance, validating functionality, and I think I talked about assessing quality, identifying and resolving defects to improve overall product quality. And you should have your defect identification. So it could be more than this for your objectives, but you should have it listed in your objectives. And risk mitigation, I think I've talked about it, addressing potential vulnerabilities. So basically, the objectives of a test plan are to ensure the quality, reliability, and effectiveness of software or system being developed. Ultimately, it's just to contribute to the successful delivery of a high quality product that meets users' expectation and business requirement. So, for instance, you kind of have like a ladder that you are climbing. So each step takes you closer to where you are going. Each step takes you closer to where you are going. Each step takes you till you get to the point where you say, okay, yes, this is where I'm going to, your outcome. So that's just what your objective should consist of, the list of your specific goals, what you want to see, the outcome, what you want to achieve at the end of it. So the objective of a test plan: articulate the specific goals and aims of the testing effort. These objectives guide the testing process and ensure that it aligns with the overall project goal and requirement. So we also have another key component, which is scope. I've always mentioned scope. So scope is one of the key components of a test plan, which helps to define the boundaries of the testing effort. And it also includes features or functionalities that will be tested and will not be tested. So basically, the scope is the key component where you kind of define the boundaries of what you want to test, the modules, the functionalities. If it's essential, if it's meant for you to cover it, what needs to be tested and what not need to be tested, what you shouldn't test. So it is in this scope that you kind of set that boundaries. This is where you declare that this is what you will test and this is what you will not test. And some of the things that can be tested or not being tested. So you have the functionality, which you have to test, ensuring that all features and functions work as intended. So I've mentioned in one of our classes before that it's not everything you test. Some things can be done manually and you cannot automate it. So most cases, anything that can be done manually will be automated. But there's some cases that some things that are done manually cannot be automated. And then you also have performance, assessing system responsiveness, and what's it called? Scalability, and resource usage. You also have compatibility, verifying compatibility with different devices, browsers, and operating system. All these you get to know, because even you as a tester, we have compatibility testing. So sometimes you have to test all the browsers. I think I mentioned this in one of the classes as well, that if you find a bug on your system and you put it through to your test lead and it's not replicating on their system, you have to ensure and find out why. So it could be that it is the testing environment that you are on, maybe because you're on Chrome and the test lead is on maybe what are they called? Microsoft Edge. So things like that. So sometimes you have to test all different browsers. And we also have security. Then that's where you test for vulnerabilities. So all this comes under your scope. And then usability, evaluating user interface, intuitiveness, and accessibility, as well as reliability with regression, checking for unintended impacts on existing features after charges. So the scope of a test plan defines what aspect of the system or software application will be tested. Say, for instance, you have something like a Venn diagram that can visually represent the scope with overlapping circles representing each aspect of testing. That's where you have your functionality, you have your performance, you have your compatibility, showing that the test plan encompasses all this area to ensure comprehensive coverage. Another one is testing strategy. So it says, describe the overall approach of testing, including the test types that will be performed, and any specific techniques and methodologies. So I think for this one, methodologies that will be used. So this is where you say, oh, this is the kind of test approach that will be good for this project. So it all depends on what the project is. Say, for instance, if you have to use, what is it called? Integration testing or system testing. So it all depends on what project you are working on. So because the project determines what kind of approach you will use, what kind of methodologies that will be used. So that's where testing strategies come. And it's also a high level. We'll be talking more on testing strategy as we go. It's also a high level plan that outlines the approach and methods for achieving testing objectives. So we'll talk more on that. Another key component of a test plan is your test deliverables. So it outlines the specific documents, reports, or artifacts that will be produced as part of the testing process, such as test cases, test scripts, or defect reports. So for test deliverables, you have to have, this is where you have all your documents, all the test case that will be written, excuse me, all your test scripts, all your defect reports. So you under this bit, you have everything in place there. As it says, that will be your artifacts for your test deliverables. So hence, test deliverables play a crucial role in documenting, tracking, and communicating the progress and outcomes of testing activities, helping ensure the quality and reliability of the software or system being developed. Key component of a test plan details the hardware, which is the test environment, which details the hardware, the software, and other resources that will be required to conduct the testing, including any necessary tools and equipment. So for this one, you have to list what hardware you will need for the test environment, what software, what other resources, what tools. Will it be Azure Board? Will it be Jira? So this is where you list them. You talk about them on your test environment. You have a detailed and a very clear report of what will be your test environment for that particular project. So the setup comprises of hardware, software, and configuration, where testing activities are conducted to simulate real-world conditions. So one other key component is a test schedule, which provides a timeline for the testing effort, including key milestones, deadlines, and dependencies. So for test schedule is a test plan outline that it outlines the timeline for executing various testing activities, milestones, and deadlines, and dependencies. It provides structured approach to manage and track the progress of testing effort throughout the project lifecycle. So the timeline, the test schedule specifies the start. So normally that's like when you have 2 or 3 weeks, your sprint, what you are meant to do for this sprint, your sprint goal, it has to be achieved. So basically that encompasses with your timeline, your milestone, and at the end of it, did you achieve it? Did you meet up with the deadlines? So this is where it comes in under this test schedule. And the progress and testing effort throughout the project life cycle will be tracked. So that's one of the approach of text schedule is used to track all what has been done or will be done for the project. And it simply means the timeline outlining testing activities and milestones. Key components of a test plan: roles and responsibilities. It specifies the individual or team responsible for various aspects of the testing effort, including testers, developers, and stakeholders. For roles and responsibilities, this is where you kind of you have what everyone will be, what their roles will be for your testers, for your developers, for anyone that is working in the project. So you kind of have a list of their roles and their responsibilities. So everyone knows what they are meant to do. That's the purpose of a test plan. So because when this is created, it goes out to everyone that is involved in the project. Everyone will have a copy or a soft copy, or whatever the case may be. But then it tells you, it makes it clear to everyone that this is your role and this is your responsibility. So the team knows everyone that is responsible for each role, which includes the testers and the developers, as I said earlier. So by clearly defining roles and responsibilities in the test plan, I beg your pardon, teams can ensure effective collaboration and communication and coordination throughout the testing process, leading to the delivery of high quality. Like as I said, once everybody knows their roles and responsibility, it helps the project to move faster and quicker, and to deliver a high quality product. So we also have risk and assumption. So for risk and assumption, it helps to identify the potential risk or the uncertainties that could impact the testing process, as well as any assumption that have been made about the test environment system under test. So as a tester, you need to think ahead. You need to you need to be vast in your thinking and put it that way. So risk and assumption do play a crucial role in identifying potential challenges and establishing expectation regarding the testing process. So in a test plan, risk and assumption, sorry, I'm repeating myself. Okay, I'll just quickly give us a definition of risk. Risk refers to potential events or situations that could negatively impact the success of the testing effort or the project as a whole. So as a tester, you need to be vast in your thinking, like I said earlier, because there's always a risk and you need to be one step ahead. You need to assume, you need to think out of the box. So some of the risks that we could encounter could be technical risk, such as the software, compatibility. We've talked about that, compatibility issues, and resource risk, and also insufficient testing resources. So that could be some of the risk you could think of that you could put in place to say, oh, what if this resource is not available? What happens to the project? We did take a project a bit longer. What do we have to do? So you need to think, and you need to, I mean, for I think that comes under roles and responsibilities as well, whereby you have to think, say for instance, you've employed 10 staffs and you know that those 10 staffs, okay, they'll be available for the job. But what happens if one of them calls sick? What happens if one of them suddenly says, oh, I'm no longer, I don't want to continue. So you have to think ahead and plan well against all these unforeseen circumstances that could arise when the project starts, because it could delay the delivery date and things like that. And I think for the risk as well, we could also look at I did talk about resource risk and insufficient testing and schedule risk, delays in testing activities. Like as I said, if a tester is not available and it happens to be only one tester, what will happen to the project? So things like this need to be in place. You need to think outside the box, like, okay, what happens? So with that, you should have a plan B somewhere. Then we also have business risks. Say for instance, the requirement change or changes in project priorities and things like that. So which brings us to risk analysis. Once risks are identified, they should be analyzed to assess their potential impact on the testing effort and the likelihood of occurrence. And it helps prioritize risks based on their severity and likelihood. It also helps the teams to focus on mitigating the most critical risk first, like as I said. So you also have risk mitigation, you also have risk monitoring and control. throughout the testing process. The rigs should be monitored regularly to track changes in their status and impact. The test plan should include a mechanism for reporting and escalating risk as needed, ensuring that there are appropriate actions that needs to be addressed or taken to avert risks in a on timely manner. For assumptions as well, I'll just quickly take a break. On the assumptions, we have assumption validation and impact of assumptions and documentation. Say, for instance, the test plan should document all assumptions made during planning process, because don't forget, when you are creating a test plan, everybody will be on the table. Everyone is putting on their input. So all these things need to come. Every assumptions made need to be recorded. So along with the rationale and any associated risks. This helps ensures transparency, sorry, transparency and accountability. So, and it also helps stakeholders to understand the underlying assumptions and any potential impact on the testing process. So these are all the things that should be included in your test plan. Mind you, when you are writing your test plan, it could be up to 10, 15, 20 pages. So all these things need to be in place. And one last thing I could add to the risk to the assumption is by addressing the risk and assumption proactively in the test plan, teams can anticipate potential challenges, establish contingency plans. Like, as I said, you need to have a plan B. So these things need to be documented. Any plan B you have needs to be documented, which is your contingency plans. And you need to minimize the impact of any uncertainties on the testing effort. And ultimately improving the likelihood of a successful project delivery. So, like as I said, for you to meet your deadline, your timeline, for everything, because if the project also linger, say for instance, it was meant to be 6 months and it ended up being 10 months, you've spent more money. So that budget might not also be there. Some test plan also, I think budget can be added to your test plan as well. Is it budget planning, or what's it called now? Can't remember yet. Something like that can be added. It depends on what the project is, like as I said, and different organizations, different process of creating their test plans. So the last one is the approver, which specify the individuals or group that must, review and approve the test plan before testing can commence. So when the test plan is created, it needs to be approved. So the stakeholders, your test lead, test manager, even the development team should all approve of what is in the test plan. So everyone needs to agree with what has been conducted on the test plan, of how it has been created and everything, because the test plan does not only work for the test plan, for the testers rather, sorry, because you have to work around the developers as well. So it needs to be approved by the stakeholders and your test lead. So by following a structured approval process, the testing team ensures that the test plan has undergone a thorough review and a validation setting the stage for a successful testing effort aligned with project goals and expectation. So when this is the last one for the key components of a test plan. So when creating a test plan, ensure that all these are in place. I've listed 10. You could find more in your research. Yeah, so I've seen some that don't have approval, but I think it could have been omitted, but yeah, it needs to be approved anyway. So yeah. So which brings us to what is test management? Test management refers to the process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling all aspects of testing within a project or organization. So it also involves coordinating testing activities, such as resources and deliverables, to ensure that testing objectives are met effectively and efficiently. So test management test management involves overseeing and coordinating all aspects of testing throughout a project. Throughout a project or the company or organization, to ensure that testing objectives are achieved efficiently and effectively. An example is, say for instance, for a project and a software development project, the test manager is responsible for the test management, and they develop the test plan, and which outlines the testing approach and the scopes and the resources. So basically, test manager assign tasks to testers, and they also monitor their progress and ensure that testing activities aligns with project milestone. So the test manager is also responsible for the tracking of defects found during testing, and is also the one to decide on prioritizing them based on severity, and kind of oversees the resolution. So basically, test managers, they collaborate with other project stakeholders to address any issues that may arise during testing. So basically, that's what test managers do. They kind of they tell you what to do, like just like any other manager. Sometimes some companies call them line manager. So they track all the defect report or your test cases and the things that you've done. So just like it says here, that test management encompasses various activities, including test planning, test cases, development, test verification, defect tracking, and reporting. Through effective test management, the test manager contributes to the successful delivery of high quality product that meets customer expectation. Basically, test managers are responsible for creating comprehensive test plans. Like as I said earlier, there are different types of ways or process or methods of creating a test plan. So a test manager could create a comprehensive test plan depending on the organization. Say, for instance, it's a big organization. So the test manager could be the one creating the test plan because it's a comprehensive one. And they are also responsible for outlining the testing strategies, as well as the scope and the schedule, just like everything we've also talked about. Because the role of a test management encompasses various activities aimed at ensuring the successful planning of execution and oversight of testing activities within projects or organization. So another definition can also be test management involves the systematic coordination. Yeah. So that's a good definition for test management and control of testing activities to ensure that software system meet quality standard and requirement. So they collaborate with stakeholders and they kind of define testing requirements and their priorities. So basically that's their thing. So these are some of the roles of or the key aspect of a test management, which could otherwise be the role of a test manager. So we have test planning, which we've talked about, which is creating comprehensive test plan. So they do that. And for resource management, test managers allocate testing resources. So, like as I said, they tell you what to do, just like any other role where you have a manager. So, which include human resources, and then the testers, and then the automation testers, and the testing to ensure that testing activities are adequately resourced and completed to schedule. We also have test execution oversight. So I'll just quickly go on it. So test managers oversees the execution of testing activities, monitoring progress, and ensuring that testing and tasks are carried out according to established test plan and quality standard. And they also do coordinate with development team to schedule testing cycles, and they are responsible to prioritize test execution based on project needs. So it all depends on the projects. Then we also have defect management, where the test manager is also responsible for the defect management process and including the defect identifications and tracking and prioritization. I'm sorry, I'm hungry. That's why resolution. Maybe that's why I'm talking like that. Yeah. So we also have risk management. Test managers identify and assess risk associated with testing activities, which comes under the technical bit, the one I explained earlier. and then the contingency plans and all that. We also have the reporting and the communication. So the test managers do communicate with the test progress and the results and issues to project stakeholders. So they kind of serves as an intermediary between the testers and the stakeholders. And they kind of work with the project managers as well as the development teams and the business stakeholders. So they are kind of mainly the ones that give you the updates regards to any changes, any status updates or metrics and insights to just to facilitate informed decision making and maintain transparency throughout the testing process. So for continuous improvement, the test managers drive continuous improvement initiatives and within the testing process, identifying any opportunities just to enhance the testing efficiency. So they are just kind of, they just have to up their game in order for effective quality product. So what they do is they collect feedback and they also analyze the testing matrix and they implement test practices to optimize test workflows and deliverables. So there's a diagram for test management. So who is responsible for creating a test plan? Because I know some of you will be wondering who should create a test plan. So, like as I said, anyone can create a test plan. As long as you are a tester, you should be able to create a test plan. So testers, test analysts, automation engineers, and other members of the testing team contribute their expertise. Like as I said, when creating a test plan, it's not just you. Like the assignment from Mrs. Ayola, is a teamwork. So everybody needs to be involved. So each team have to create the test plan for their project for each team. So whatever your project is, that you will create a test plan in alignment with your project. So that's just what it is. So all other testers are getting involved. So it's not just you. So in the case of the outside world, you would have everyone there. It depends on the company's policy. For most cases, like as it says, your test analyst, your automation engineer. Yeah, so basically the testing team and sometimes the development team. However, the test manager or test lead takes the lead in creating the test plan. That is, if it's comprehensive. So another thing is, why I said anyone can create a test plan is because if you are the only one in the company that is a tester, you have to create it. If you don't have a test lead, if you don't have a test manager, you have to create a test plan. And the reason for creating a test plan, like as I said, is like a guide, a manual. So when you leave a company, somebody else can pick it up. And we have a great understanding of what the testing team have been doing and needs to continue doing. So they can pick up from where you stop. So creating a test plan is typically the responsibility of the test manager or test lead, although specific roles and responsibility may vary depending on organizational structure and project requirement. So in most cases, or some cases, the test manager may collaborate with other members of the testing team, such as we have the test analyst and the likes. However, the test manager or test lead ultimately bears the responsibility for ensuring the test plan is accurate and reflects the testing strategy, the objectives, the scope, and the approach for the project. If you are the only tester, trust me, you could get away with anything on your test plan. Yeah, because there's no one to review it. So you are the only tester. Some companies, maybe smaller companies, do have just one tester. So except maybe some would say maybe their line manager, which is might not directly be uh your test manager, but could be maybe somebody that is overseeing the the IT department. And if the person does not have a clear understanding of what, I've heard some people say when they get to when they get a role that they don't have any test plan. And trust me, if you can create a test plan for a company that has not had a tester creating a test plan for them, and you come in and create a test plan, that's a bonus. So basically, if you can create a test plan, it's a bonus for you as a tester, because if you are the only tester in the company and you create a test plan, it shows you know what you are doing. So as a tester, we should be able to create a test plan. So the creation of a test plan involves collaborative efforts from various stakeholders within a project, primarily led by test manager or test lead, which is what I've explained. So that takes us to the next slide. We have entry and exit criteria. So as the diagram says, you see entry criteria, testing phases, exit criteria, and for the entry criteria, it says certain conditions fulfill before you start testing. Why for the exit, it says certain conditions fulfill before completion of testing. So those are the two words there, start and completion. Entry criteria are conditions that must be fulfilled or met before testing activities can commence for a specific phase or stage of a testing process. This criteria ensures the testing environment resources and the prerequisites are in place to begin testing effectively. So for your entry, I'm sure most of us knows what entry and exit criteria is.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Essentially, they are components of test planning and execution, outlining conditions that must be met before proceeding to the next phase of the testing process. Entry criteria specify the conditions that must be met before testing activities can begin for a particular phase or the stage of the project, depends on what stage the project is. And these criteria ensures that the testing environment, resources, and requisites are adequately prepared to commence testing effectively. So an example for entry criteria for system testing phase, for instance, say you are about to start a project and you are working on a system testing, and the completion of integration testing is one of them. So you will have that in place, and then integration testing phase should be successfully completed, ensuring that individual software components have been integrated and function together as executed. And you should also have availability of test environment. You should also have the completeness of stable software build. So for entry criteria, it helps prevent premature initiation of testing and ensuring that testing activities are conducted efficiently and successfully. Examples of entry criteria include availability of test documentation, completion of software builds, setup of test environments, availability of test data, and allocation of necessary testing resources for your entry criteria. Which brings us to exit criteria. These are conditions or criteria that must be satisfied or achieved for a specific phase or stage of the testing process to be considered complete. So everything in on the Azure board, we call it done. So when you as a tester have completed your work, we say it is done. So that could come as your exit. So everything, the testing process need to be complete. This criteria includes when testing activities can be concluded and when the testing phase can transition to the next phase or stage. And it also helps to assess the readiness and the quality of the testing outcome, and then determine whether testing objectives have been met. So exit criteria include the completion of test case, execution. Like as I said, when you moved your test case from when the developer says it is done column, and then you move it to your NQA, you write your test case and get it executed, and then you put it on the done column. Yeah, that could be your exit. So, and achievement of test coverage goals, and the resolution of high priority defects. Once you find a defect and it's been resolved, it's been fixed, resolution of high priority defects, attainment of quality matrix, and approval from stakeholders to proceed to the next phase. So that could be your exit criteria. So mm, mm, um, So starting a project, number of test cases. We'll quickly touch on this. Starting a project, number of test cases. The number of test cases required to start a project depends on various factors such as project size, complexity, requirement, risk, and priorities. There's no one size fits all answers, but it's essential to strike a balance between thorough test coverage and efficient use of resources. To determine the number of test cases needed to start a project, a tester can use various approaches. So it all depends your techniques as well as your experience to ensure the comprehensive coverage while optimizing resources. So the common factors influencing test case can also be project scope, the scope of the project. So including the number of features, modules, and functionalities influences the number of test cases needed. A larger scope typically requires more test cases excuse me, to cover all aspects adequately. Say, for instance, we take the e-commerce website, which includes various features such as user registration, product browsing, and order, shopping cart. So another management. That's a big one, you know. So those are the things that could influence your test cases. Because if you have all those modules, you have to write different features on them. So you can't just put them all in one. You have to write them design them separately. The test cases has to be designed separately. And then requirement complexity. Projects with complex requirements may require a higher number of test cases to verify and validate different scenarios and conditions. The website might have a complex requirement, for instance, maybe including user role like guest users and registered users, and say, for instance, like a gym and other administrative features. So, and then you also have multiple payment methods. So all these things need to be tested. So, and sometimes the integration with third-party services. So those are the things that could influence your test case counts. And we also have the risk analysis, which conducting a risk analysis helps identify high-risk areas that require extensive testing coverage. The higher risk components may necessitate more test cases to mitigate potential issues. Because high risk high risk could include payment processing and maybe security and data and things like that, and transactions and all that. So those are all the things that could also influence your test case. Then we also have priority and criticality. Critical functionalities and core business processes often require more testing attention. Prioritize test case development based on criticality and importance to the project success. Because core functionalities such as user registration or product browsing and checkout process are deemed critical. They are more of critical features. And they receive high priority for testing. All those when it comes to things like checkout process and product browsing, registration. Yeah, so that might influence your test case counts. Then we have the test strategy. The chosen test strategy, such as manual testing, automated testing, or a combination of both, impacts the number of test cases. Exactly. Because here in Blue Sky, we do both. After manual, you will do automation. When you've tested it manually, you will also test it with automation. So yeah, that can impact the number of test cases. So, but these are not things you should worry about when starting a project. But I just added that to it because it's one of the things that was meant to be added to tonight's teaching. So automated tests can cover repetitive scenarios efficiently, reducing the need for manual test cases. Exactly. So most times, but you still have to do the manual anyway. But yeah, when you have, I said earlier, when you have a manual test case, you definitely have an automation test case. But you may have automation, you may have a manual and not have automation on a particular feature. It depends on what it is. Maybe sometime as we go deeper into the class, you people will get hold of it. Let me not put too much. Then we also have reusability. Identify opportunities for test case reusability across different project phases, modules, or releases. Reusable test cases can help optimize testing efforts and help reduce redundancy. Because test cases are commonly user flow, you can always use them again, like in automation. So you also have user registration, project search, and then design for reusability across different test cycles and releases. So it depends on the features. Sometimes you have to reuse your codes and things like that. So it helps reduce redundancy. And we have advantages of a test plan. Structured approach, clear objectives, risk management, resource allocation, communication, quality assurance, efficiency, documentation, traceability, continuous improvement. So test plan obviously offers several advantages to the testing process and the overall project life cycle. So basically, these are some of the advantages of using a test plan or creating a test plan. Structured approach, the test plan helps provide more structured framework for organizing and documenting your test activities. It more or less ensures a consistency and clarity for your testing process. So, which takes us to the clear objectives. For the clear objectives, it helps us to define clear testing objectives such as the scopes. So basically, these are all what we've talked about, objectives and the deliverables. You keep hearing that once it comes to test plan and helping stakeholders to understand what we'll be testing and why. So that's why it's clear objectives. And the risk management, which is also what we've talked about, test plan helps assess and mitigate the strategies for identifying any potential risk, proactively reducing the likelihood of any issues impacting the success of the project. And so we also have the resource allocation, which it kind of outlines the requirements, including any personal tools and environments facilitating effective resource allocations and It utilizes the testing process throughout the project. And then we have communication, which serves as a communication tool, enabling stakeholders to understand the testing approach, timelines, dependencies, and responsibilities, fostering transparency, and effective collaboration among project team members. Essentially, communication helps the project moves quicker, well, effective and efficient communication, I would say. Then we also have quality assurance, which is the purpose of it, quality assurance in test, the advantages of quality assurance in test plan ensures or helps testing activities being conducted rigorously and systematically. And it also maintains improvement of product quality, thereby identifying and addressing defects early in the development life cycle. That's for quality assurance. So we also have efficiency, which is one of the advantages of a test plan. With that being said, it optimizes testing efforts by prioritizing testing activities, mainly based on the project goals or the risk or the priorities. And it helps ensure that the testing resources are mainly focused on areas of highest impact and value. So that's the purpose. And then we now have documentation. Test plan documents and test strategies and methodologies and test cases and test results. They all serve as value reference for future projects. And then in the case of audit and compliance purposes as well, documentation is one key advantage of a test plan. So without documentation, I don't know what will be in your test plan. And for the traceability, it's kind of established traceability between requirements and then maybe test cases and test results, enabling teams to track the progress of and testing activities like in Azure board. When you move your test cases, your Scrum Master can see that you are working. And it verifies that all requirements have been adequately tested. Yeah. And the last one is continuous improvement. One of the advantages of a test plan is continuous improvement, which helps by providing basic testing process, identifying any areas of optimization. And it also helps incorporate lessons learned. Like sometimes in our retro, yes, retro, isn't it? Where you will say, I don't know if you people have done retro. You should have done retro. We are in spring 2, isn't it? So where you say, what did we achieve? Things like that. So yeah, that's just what this is. The continuous improvement. You want to know if there are any lapses, things like that. So these are all the advantages of a test plan. Overall test plan just play a crucial role in ensuring the success of testing efforts by providing a roadmap for planning, executing and perhaps managing testing activities effectively and efficiently. Our time is fast spent. What's the time? Yeah, disadvantages of a test plan: rigidity, overhead, misalignment with agile practices, focus on documentation over testing, misinterpretation, limited flexibility, obsolete information, dependency on documentation. Because obviously, while test plans are numerous advantages, there are also some potential disadvantages associated with the use of a test plan. In terms of the rigidity, the test plan become a rigid document that may not easily accommodate changes in project scope, because once you've written it, you might not want to change it, you know. So, or the requirements or the priorities and all the likes. So this rigidity can lead to sometimes a delay or inefficiency when adapting to evolving project needs, you know. And we also have overhead. Basically, it's developing and maintaining comprehensive test plan requirement time, effort, and resources, excessive documentation, and administrative overhead may detract from actual testing activities, slow down the testing process as well. So you kind of think too much. That's just what the overhead is, basically. And we also have misalignment with agile practices. This can be debatable, but yeah, I'll just quickly touch on it. In terms of an agile environment where priorities and requirements evolve rapidly. No. Out. Rapidly. I'm sorry about my background noise. So misalignment with agile practices. Sometimes priorities and requirements may change quickly, and traditional test plans may struggle to keep their pace, and agile teams often favor lightweight, flexible documentation over format test plan. So in terms of agile with test plan, obviously we use test plan in agile, but what this is trying to say is the suitability of the test plan depends on various factors, including the project specification requirements and constraints on organization preference. Why? Because test plans are traditionally associated with waterfall methodologies, but it can be adapted to be used in agile and iterative development approach. So, such as Scrum or Kanban. So the emphasis is on flexibility and adaptability and collaboration over comprehensive documentation. Because agile team may not create extensive test plan upfront, they may still develop lightweight testing strategies or test charters to guide test efforts. Yeah, and within each iteration or sprint. So yeah, so test plans may be less detailed and more fluid in agile environment, focusing on high-level testing objectives and priorities, while allowing for flexibility to adjust testing approaches based on changing requirements and feedback. So yeah, that's for the misalignment with Agile. We're expecting 1 or 2 questions from that. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. And focus on documentation over testing. In some cases, testers may prioritize adhering to test plan documentation requirements over actually conducting thorough testing. So this focus on maybe the paperwork rather than testing effectiveness, and can compromise the quality of testing efforts. So yeah, that's one of the disadvantages of a test plan. And we also have misinterpretation, which is test plan can or may be misinterpreted or misunderstood by stakeholders. Yeah, we've seen such cases, thereby leading to confusion or discrepancies in expectation regarding testing scope, objectives, or methodologies. Then we also have limited flexibility, as well as obsolete. The clue is in the name, limited flexibility. And just to say, for instance, unforeseen circumstances, like I said earlier, or changes to any project conditions. And then for the obsolete information, test plans may become outdated as project requirements priorities or technologies evolve. And then failure to update test plan regularly can also result in discrepancies between planned testing activities and actual project needs. So, and then the dependency on documentation, which is relying on too heavily on the test plan, because you are working according to the test plan as the sole source of the testing guidance, and inhibit creativity, innovation, and critical thinking among testing team members. So yeah, testing may become overly reliant on following predefined procedures, and rather than exploring alternative testing approach, because you then have to follow what is on the test plan, which is the rigidity there. So why test plan remain a valuable tool for planning and organizing test activities? It's essential to balance their benefits with the potential drawbacks and adapt their use to suit the needs and dynamics of each project. Agile methodologies, for example, emphasize adaptability, collaboration, and responsiveness, which may require a more flexible and lightweight approach to test planning compared to traditional waterfall. So that's my conclusion on the disadvantage of a test plan. So we have the test plan, the difference between them, test strategy. Test plans is document derived from SRS describing scope of testing and activities to be performed. A high-level document describing the way testing is carried out. That's for test strategy. So the test plan and the test strategy are both essential documents in software testing, but they may also serve different purposes, and most cases provide different levels of details. Like, for instance, in test strategy, the purpose of test strategy is a high-level document that outlines the overall approach to testing for a project organization. It also provides the guidance on how testing will be organized, executed, and managed across different phases or levels of testing. Why test plan? The purpose of a test plan is a detailed document that provides a roadmap for planning, executing, and managing test activities for specific project or release. It outlines the detailed scope, objectives, and all the likes. So I also have a simple way. I think the test plan is how, and the test strategy is what. I hope I haven't messed it up. Yeah. Then we also have the scope. There's also scope in test strategy. There's also scope in test plan. There's also audience or specificity in test plan, while in test strategy is flexibility. So yeah, these are the two difference between them, but you can also do your research on them. Another thing is test strategy is of high level, as it says there. Yeah. So that can be the difference. And in some test plan, you will also see where they say test strategy. And sometimes some company will require you to write a test strategy and a test plan. I think Mr. DJ has always told us to write a test plan separately from a test strategy. Yeah. If you're confused, I kind of get that because yeah, it happens. So, which takes us to, sorry. What happened? My slide is not moving. Thank God we are done. Slide. So, yeah, which is the difference I've just talked about. Thank you, everyone. I hope I've not bored you guys to sleep. Damlala, you can stop the recording. Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Mr. Deji. So, you guys need to create your test plan. But now, Mr. Deji, I've added test strategy to it. So, if you guys have any question on test strategy, ask Mr. Deji now, because it said test strategies for the entire company.
Rita, I'll put you in the break in the breakout room, right? And in the waiting room. Is that what you want?
No, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay. You know to drop this sir. There's no sir here and there's no Mr. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Ugochi.
Good evening, Rita. Good evening, Deji.
Good evening.
Good evening, Deji.
Okay, yeah, it's still there.
Is he gone?
No, it's still there. Go on.
Okay, the question.
Okay, the question is for him. That's fine.
Yes. Deji, I want to refer the question to you on the task you just gave to us now. So you said we should write a test strategy, and you said it's for the company, like the whole company. So we are writing a test strategy on Blue Sky Citadel. Is it?
Sorry, repeat what you said. I didn't get that.
Okay, I said my question is based on the task you just gave to us now.
Okay.
Where you said we should write a test strategy, and you said the test strategy should comprise of the whole company. You mean we are writing a test strategy for Blue Sky Citadel?
Okay, all right. That's a good question, right? You know, as I said, a test strategy normally will be for the whole company. So, for instance, when I go for an interview, they ask me what's the test strategy. I normally say a test strategy is a document that explains quality. Yeah, if you say, oh, what is quality in your company, you need to look into the test strategy, right? So, but right now, what I've worked in a place that each of the team has got their test strategy, because the team, they work independently. Okay, they work independently from each other. So there's no overarching test strategy for the whole company. For instance, let's say HSBC, for instance, HSBC is a very big organization that team A and team B, they don't know each other. So for that, they have to create their own test strategy for their team. And within their team, they may have 5 or 6 projects. So each of the projects will have their own test plan, but they will not have a test strategy for that particular team. So now for your team, right, you create a test strategy, right? And then you also create a test project for your project. Do you get it now? But what I said is that individually, as a task, create one for yourself, right? So that you know what goes in. Because if you go for interview, they'll ask you, what are the elements of a test strategy? What are the elements of a test plan? You want to be able to say so. And you can only say so if you have created one. Trust me, if someone created it and you look at it, it's easy for you to forget. But if you are the one that created it yourself, and it's easy for you to remember because you know what you put in there. And there are like maybe 10 different elements that you need to put in there in each of those ones. Do you get it now? And then adapt based on what you want. So then after you've created individual one, come together as a team and then incorporate them together and present one to the team. One test plan and one test strategy. Does that answer your question, Ugochi?
Yes, it does, sir. Yes,
Thank
sir. But please, I have a second question. It's about the question I asked you yesterday night in my team. I think I missed a step and I'm unable to catch up with the whole thing again. I don't know if there's any chances of you putting me through. Because I was the only QA in that group that night. I think they all left. So I was thinking someone was also there, but no other person was there. So today, trying to put them through on those things, I think I missed a single step because I'm unable to see where they wrote design
Okay.
on that
I
board.
think Rita said she's going to look into Azure DevOps. Let's
Okay,
see
okay,
what she's got to do. If you see
okay.
half time and she didn't cover that, then I will look into that.
Thank you, Deji. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Damilala, please.
Sorry, I don't know who is going to answer this question, but I'm sorry if I have to ask again. I'm just asking for understanding sake. Tech strategy should be for a team, and text plan should be for a project. Am I correct?
Sorry, I didn't get your question, Damilala. Is that for me?
Yeah,
I
it's for
don't
you,
know.
sir.
Either you or Rita.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Can you repeat it, please?
I said, if I get you right from the explanation, test strategy is to be done by a team, and the test plan is to be done for a project.
Yeah, that's right.
Either for a person, a group project, or the company project.
There's nothing like a group project or a company project, for instance. So what you will see is that test strategy is the grandfather of everything.
High
Right.
level.
High level. You only have one test strategy for the team or for the company. If they are using one if the old companies are accepting that we are going to use one test strategy, it's going to be for that. Do you get it now? If they are actually, because most of the big companies now has got their team like a startup, small team, and they have power to do what they want to do within themselves. Do you get it now?
Yeah.
So so that team might have one test strategy, right? Then after that, they will have a lot of test plans for all the projects they have, right? Do you get it now? Let's say your team now, you've got only one project now.
Yes.
And then for your team, you have one test strategy, one test plan. Let's say, and after 3 months, you finish this project, you are starting another project. You won't have another test strategy. Do you get it now? But you have a new test plan. Yes.
I agree. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. What's the time? Okay, let's quickly go to the Azure board. Next week, I'm gonna anytime we meet, I will ask my own question. So Damilala, you can pause the recording. If you wanna. Yeah, you just started.
When I thought I was recording.
I think you were earlier.
Okay. Amilala, okay.
You're not sharing your board. Damilola. Okay, can you move the, or just click on the plus sign on the header? No, no. Come down. Come. No. Header design. Header, that's
Okay.
logo. Yeah. Click on the green plus sign on the next column. Yeah.
This one?
Yeah. So what do you want to name it? Just put manual testing. Or you can give it any name. Assign it to yourself. No. Click on the assign. Your name should come up. On the,
It's not coming.
why is that? So you should assign it to yourself so that somebody would, or the other testers will know that you are the one working on it. No, that's no. Okay. So anyway, this is how you create your task, and then you move it to in progress if you are writing your test case. So can you drag it and move it into in progress? Okay. So if you go back to the board, let's see, it should show that you've created a task. Can you move it, scroll to the, so you see now it's showing 1/2. So if you click on it, please, on the 1/2 on the header design. Come down. Yeah. So you see, no, don't tick it yet until you are done. So when
Okay.
you've completed your task, it automatically ticks. Sometimes you could do it manually. So go to the header bit at the top. You see the 3 eclipse next to it.
Where's the header?
Yeah, there.
Okay.
Click on it. So it doesn't have test plan.
No, we're not. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I misunderstand. Test cases.
Yeah, it's got test plan. Don't worry. You see where it says add task? You should
Yes.
have there that to say add test plan as well. That's the one Mr. Deji was saying that is not the same as test plan. So I don't know why it doesn't. So have you written any test case?
Yes.
Can I see the one you've written? How did you do it? How did you go about writing your test case?
Okay, we
I know
went
there are
to
other ways, but trust me, I've forgotten.
sorry.
Yeah, but you've
They taught us this way.
hello, sir. Which way?
What you are saying is what the G and the class did.
I'm gonna pass this down. So you've not used the BDD. So you brought the what you did.
Yeah, but you guys, you also use BDD now.
This format is for the Excel.
Yeah, but they can also use it for the Azure
This is
DevOps
my
anyway.
Excel.
Yeah, but they also did BDD. Did you not do BDD as well? You know when we use the giving when then? Do you remember?
That was
The class
In one
was
of the stories.
recorded.
it wasn't recorded.
Yes, it was.
It was recorded. In one of the stories we did 2 stories, okay?
Okay, let me open the second story
Okay.
that we did on that day. That must be footer.
Blessing.
Bless you.
Yeah. So this is the BDD that we've been talking about.
So how is this different from what I opened before?
Basically, BDD is the best way to write your test case. I don't know if Mr. Deji want to kick against that. That's yeah. So because giving is your precondition, when is your action, and then is your outcome. So anybody should be able to pick up your test case and be able to, because it serves as a guide. Because if a user picks it up, they will get hold of what you are trying, what they want to do on the software, what process they have to take. So this is kind of a manual or a guide for a user. So if there's no BDD, I don't know.
What I'm asking is,
Mr. Deji, do you want to, I don't know.
is this a BDD or not?
Yes, this is the BDD. You're giving Wende and Geking syntax.
Okay. All right. The difference is the choice of words, okay? So for instance, in line 1, right? If you remove the giving I, do you get now? And you just say navigate to mentor skill website. Do you get it now? That will still work. But the fact that you put the giving makes it a BDD approach.
Yeah,
Behavioral. All right. And the same thing applies to the when as well, right? So if you don't use those giving, when, and then you are not using BDD. But right now, it's going to be clearer when you move to automation, because now, if you write your test script in this approach, when you go to automation, you can easily just transpose it into your step definition, because you've written your manual test cases in BDD, and you can reuse them when you go to automation.
So, Mr. Deji, sorry for coming short, yeah? The BDD is the best way to write the test cases.
I would say yes. I don't know.
So
Yeah,
when
it's debatable, to be honest.
It's
Yeah.
not. But I mean, the other one is not clear. And maybe
No,
because I'm used to this.
because you are. It's because
yeah,
you are.
because when
actually.
I saw the other test cases, I didn't, and again, the choice of adding when just in between, and there was no clear understanding of the outcome in most of the test cases that were written.
For me, they are all, for instance, now, if you just remove the given at the top, you have what you are talking about, Rita, right?
Yeah, sure.
So exactly. So
it's debatable in the sense that, just like as I said, if anybody pick it up, especially a user, because this serves as a guide, isn't it, for somebody that is not technical, they will be able, because
you can debate it that even a non-technical user also doesn't want that giving when then as well. Just want it, they just want it in a plain English. Navigate to MentorSkate website. Not that giving, do you get?
I know
So
some organizations don't use BDD, but
yeah,
most 80% of organizations uses them. But like Mr. Deji said, for automation, you have to use BDD.
Yeah. So one thing I can say, normally when we do this, we teach you both sides. Do you get now? So that when you go to work, you know how to use both of them, because some of the organization will have started using one approach, right? And if they're using the other one without the BDD, then you know how to use to go. And I won't come here and say one is better than the other, to be honest. I don't know. I don't think so, right? So, but the only thing I can say that will favor the BDD is if you are going to now go into automation, right, then it's the best approach, because you can reuse your test. And so that's one thing I can say. So with that approach, right, then I can say BDD is the best. Not because it's easy to understand, right? Or it's easy to write. No, it's not. But it's because you can reuse your test in automation. That's my opinion. Anyway, that's why I say it's debatable anyway. So it's not like,
So
maybe, yeah.
Sorry to comment. Can you just teach us the other part of it? Because you've taught us this before, and this was the process we used for the last demo we had. So the other part Rita was trying to put us through on Damilola screen. Will you just help us?
no,
Because it will be better.
this is what I wanted to do. The other part is what you guys have done on Excel. That's what Mr. Deji is talking about, that which you people already you guys are already exposed to because you've been taught that, which is the first one Damilola showed us.
This was the one I did actually for the
Yeah,
last
but I
demo.
didn't see any of these on the demo.
This was added to our,
No, I didn't see it.
Presentation.
No, most of it were more of Excel. But sir, the only thing I also noticed. Sorry, who is speaking? Go ahead.
Okay, no problem. For Team Legend, actually, we did something like this.
Yes, this was the one we did. We did this one for Team Legend.
I'll go back and check your video, your slide, but I didn't see it.
Unless it was not showcased, but this was the one we used.
Okay, that's fine. As long as you guys know how to use it.
Did you use it and you put given when?
Yes, we did.
So did you see it?
And I didn't see any.
Exactly. I didn't see it either. Maybe you guys didn't have it.
That was when they personally taught us how to do. They used my screen then, how to do test query. We were able to do test query, and it taught us also how to assign it to individuals.
I don't know if that was your team. You had more of screenshots of test queries. So, but I never saw any test case with BDD format. But that's fine. As long as you guys know how to, this was what I wanted to talk about, the given when then. So if everybody know how to use it, then it's fine. But the only thing I wanted to mention, sir, Damilola have written his test case, but it's not showing bottleneck. Is it that Azure have upgrade, or is it because there's no test plan? He didn't go through the test plan approach, or I don't know. Damilola, close it. Let's go back to the board. You see what I'm saying? No, not here. Close it. Yeah, says there's no bottleneck to indicate that the test plan is done.
Okay, you mean we're supposed to have written our test plan?
You've done it.
Test plan before we
no, that's what you just did. That's what you just showed us. But I'm telling Mr. Deji, I don't know if it's how it was called. No, maybe it's because of how you guys are right. How do you write your test plan? How do you go about it? You open it from the header design, from the acceptance criteria.
Yes.
And then
we come here, we open this, then we create the link, and then we're reading the description, acceptance criteria to be able to.
So when you want to write your test case, how do you?
What we do,
I know there are other methods, but the parent and the child one.
Yes.
I think we went to child, isn't it?
It was child we used.
Yeah.
That was the method we used.
Mr. Deji is there.
No, Rita, you can. It's never too late to take us.
No, let me see.
Let's start afresh and take on.
No. It's fine. Let me quickly go. Let me see if I can see my board. Let me show you what I was saying. But it's okay. I think
But excuse me, please, Rita. In our own case, we didn't go to this place. What we did was we went on the Azure board. Then we went to developer, the one the developer was done with. Then we picked up the story. We now
Mhm.
clicked on it, opened the story, and then went to add task where we have add link, sorry,
Hold
under
on.
related work.
Did you move it to the next column? Because you have to move it. Did you create a task? Or you were doing it from the
Okay,
developers column?
let me start afresh. What we
Okay.
did was this: we picked up the story, we opened it. Then when we opened it, we went to under related work. You know where they wrote add link. We clicked on child. When we clicked on child, we named we gave the title, then wrote test case, then closed again, then went back to write our test case. After writing the test case, we now went to state and moved it to in QA. Is that method also all right?
Yeah. As long as you are able to create a task and write your test plan. So were you able to write your test plan? I mean, there are different approach to it. And that's the problem when you are using one particular method. Of course, I know that parents and child one, that was one of the first steps I was taught as well, but I've not used it for a long time. I can tell you I've
Okay.
forgotten how it's been used.
Okay, but Rita, let me ask, test cases and test plans, they are not the same thing, right?
Test case is your steps. So
Okay.
that's different.
Where you
But
say given
test plan,
I visit the Mentors Kid website,
yes.
and then the expected result, you will now put what is supposed to happen when you see the website, right?
Yes.
Okay. That
So,
one is the test case.
yes. But the test plan I'm talking about is different. That's where you write your test case. And it's also different from this test plan we are talking about. So
Okay,
when we say you create a
put
test
us
plan document, sorry?
I said you will need to put us through.
I've just
That's what I'm saying. And Rita, sorry for the trouble. What I'm saying is, let me open one that we've not written anything about, and you teach all of us step by step what we should have done in your own way.
Hold on. I'm trying to open my board. Let me show you. I don't know why Mr. Deji is not saying anything.
It should be better.
Let me open. I'm trying to open my board. I'm struggling. I don't know. Microsoft and
Should I stop sharing?
No, it's fine. When I find it, then I will show it. I'm yet to open it. It's logging me out. Don't know what's wrong with Microsoft.
That's why you need to use Apple.
No. Apple is difficult for testing though. You're on your own.
That's for the people who doesn't know Apple.
I mean, yeah, you can. Yeah, people use it, but okay. Here's my project. I don't find my project. Where I down. Okay. It might be difficult because all the stories have been moved to UAT, so I can't find sugar. Okay. Stop sharing. Let me just quickly show you what I was asking Mr. Dij. Is it still on the call? Okay, yeah, it's there.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen it. Can you see my board?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know who did this. Okay, this was done by Ayokunle. So this is the bottleneck I was referring to. So this is your task. This is basically your test plan. Yeah. So here you see dev task and then QA manual test. Then here is where you add your test plan. So like what you just showed us, Damlola, I should be able to see what you've created here. So this bottleneck, as we've been calling it, or funnel, it's a symbol that you have created your task. So if, say for instance, here now, it's not there. That's because a test case have not been designed. So if you open it now, though the person has not, what's coming up. So this, do you see what I was trying to say? So this is the person's test case they've written. Do you understand?
100%.
Yes.
And you can also see the BDD format here. This is the expected result, or the outcome, though he has not written the expected result. So basically, when the BAs are writing their user story, they will write it in BDD format. But I don't know if this if that applies to your business analyst, but
No,
it will
you
be
are
written.
correct. You are correct.
Yeah.
They wrote
So
it.
if
You are
it's
correct.
written like this, the best approach will be to follow suit. So you
No
put
problem.
your acceptance criteria here, and then you put your expected result here. So that was just what I wanted to talk about. But I don't, to be honest, I've not explored Azure for a long time. I've only been concentrating on what I need. But yeah, I know the parent and child format, but I can't remember. There are up to 3 to 4 format of how you can write your test case. But I don't know if it's only when you write your test plan, go through your test plan in this approach, that's when you have the bottleneck. I don't know. So if you want, so say for instance, so this is where you click on. You see the first one, add tax. That's the one I was telling you. But yours didn't have up to this much. Though I'm on tester's account, if I use my name, I will not get this. What is it called? I will not get all these what is it called now? All these facilities. Yeah. I will be limited. Just like what you had on your screen.
Rita,
That's
like
what
I
I was.
said, the best way to help us, let's do one as an example.
No. You've done it the right way. But I was talking to Mr. Deji to say something. Yes, Mr. Deji, please shoot.
Yeah, I don't, I maybe they want you to do it. Maybe I didn't provide. Guys, it's already been done, right? The best thing to you to do now is to get your hands dirty and do as you go along, do it by yourself, right? At least you got 2 examples, right, that you can use, and I've told you how you can use it. We went through the requirements and we're able to extract that out, right? And that's what you need anyway. So one thing I can say is like, if someone has done something, you want to review it, you can bring it up. Do you get it now? And we can look at it together.
Sorry, Mr. Deji. Sorry, Deji. Sorry to jump in. I think the reason why I was saying she should do an example is that she was saying that we've missed some steps at the beginning before we start writing the test cases. For example, when she was showing what she was showing on the screen right now, we don't have that at the beginning. Like creating the tax, adding the text, because on our board the text cases and the plan are not coming up here.
Okay,
So that
all
was
right.
what I was trying to say, that
Yes,
how do we
okay.
do that? But we've not done any example of that.
You know, I told you guys, I said, one, there are different ways to do this thing, okay? And I've showed you one that doesn't need an elevated account. Do you get it now?
Okay.
Yeah, you don't need elevated account for you to do those ones. You can create your test cases, right? And you can do that. I want you guys to master that one, right? Write your test cases based on that, right? Let us not complicate issues, right? First, write your test cases and put those ones down.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what we'll be doing actually.
Yeah. So if anyone has done that, let us bring it out and let us review. That's what I want.
I can bring one out now. I wrote today.
Okay. Yeah. Got you.
Please, my hand is up.
Yeah.
Please, Deji, the one we want to do now, was it the one we did last night? The one you showed us through last night? Is it same
No,
as it?
this is basically the beginning before you get to that step.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So I think Abimbola, you had your answer up as well.
Yes, I wanted to ask that, is the BDD format restricted to 3 steps? Like those,
Is the sorry,
is
is the
it restricted
BDD
to format of writing test cases restricted to 3 steps? Because you mentioned that some company or organization, they pay based on how many steps you write. So is it just giving when and then?
Okay, that is a good question. That's a good question. Yeah, it's basically giving when and then, right? Those are the basic ones. So 3 steps. But it's possible that you might have 3 steps, right? More than 3 steps. So what you need to do, like for instance, your precondition could be more than 1 step, right? So what you would do, you put an and, like giving a navigate to mentor's kit, and I maybe what's that? And I what was the right one? No.
And I move to the header.
Yeah, thank you. And I move to the header, right? Something like that. Do you get it now? So it still be your precondition. When I click on the login, right? And I supply my login details, right? Then I'm able to, okay. When I click on login, supply login details, and I click on submit, then I'm able to log in, right? And I can see my name. Do you get it now? That one is more than 3. But you can see that for the giving has got some and, the when has got some and, then the then also has got some and. That's how you can do that. If you have more steps, is that okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
No worries, sir. But that's a good question anyway. Okay, all right. So Damilola, do you want to show us? Yeah, this is good. Well done. Okay. Let's look at this together. Okay. Step by step. Okay. The first step, all right. Can someone just look at this? Okay, for us. Who wants to navigate through? Any volunteer?
Hi, Friday.
Okay, Friday.
Go
First
ahead,
step.
Friday.
The first step, given open the Mentor's Kit website. Should I continue?
Yeah.
Yeah, then step 2. Then scroll down
You have to review
to the footer.
Yeah.
step by step. You have to review step by step.
Explain
So
the
is
first
that
step.
step okay? Is that sufficient? Do you understand it? Right.
I think this
it's
step
not
1.
it's not correct. Giving I open, yes. That's what it's
Okay,
supposed to be.
good. Giving
Okay,
an
we are
open,
working
that
on
is good.
privacy policy. Privacy policy, okay. Given that I open the Mentor's Kit website, that step is correct. Then scroll down to the footer section. Okay. Then locate and click on the privacy policy button. When I click on the privacy policy button in the footer.
Hold on. Is number 2 okay?
He said okay. He said okay.
Yes, it's okay. Number 2 is okay.
I don't think so. It should be.
So who was the last person that just spoke with Mr. Deji? Who was that?
I was the one.
Myself.
I was the one.
Okay.
No, not you, Gochi. Who was that?
It was Abimbola.
Abimbola. Abimbola, can you review this based on what Mr. Deji just said to you now?
So from step 2, it should be, and I scroll down. Since we're seeing the precondition. So I do am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're perfectly right. And moreover, even it may still be when, but and is still okay there as well anyway. But it won't be then. So what do we use them for?
For the final, for the result.
Expected result.
Yeah, it's a
Outcome.
result, but I'm looking for a particular word.
For the expected
And it
result.
starts with V.
It starts with what,
Verify
sir?
the-
V.
Guys, the twin.
Validate.
Yeah,
Well done.
exactly. Yeah, it's for validation. Yeah. The then clause is for validation. It's when you want to validate him. And what Abimbola said is right, because you are going to be validating the final result. Do you get it now? So that's when you use the when clause. And Rita also said that's when you use the then clause.
Then.
Yeah. Rita already mentioned what you use the when clause for. What's the when clause is? what's it for? The when clause
Action.
is for action. Thank you. Yeah. The giving is precondition, what you want to do before you perform your action. For instance, now, I am going to work, right? When I need to go to work, giving, I have my bath, I put my clothes on, and I've not even stepped out. Then when I step out, then I enter the train, I do this, then I get to work. But your preparation, preambles, is in the giving clause. Your actions are going to be in the when clause. Then your validation of your result, the matter, I want to say in Yoruba, but let's leave that one for now.
It's on record.
The real matter that you want to, establish. Do you get it now?
Outcome.
That should be in the then clause to ensure that, basically your result, your expected result, the final expected result, because don't get confused, because each of the steps has got expected result, but your final expected result should be in the then clause, and they can be more than one. Yeah. Okay, let's continue.
Continue.
Step
Who's doing
3.
it?
Then
Abimbola.
I, it should not be then again. And I locate and click on the privacy button.
Damilola.
Then
Number 3.
Yes.
number 3.
Number 3, yeah.
And I
I can't
locate
hear you clearly.
and I locate and click on the privacy button.
And
I locate
yeah.
and click on the privacy button. When
I
click
locate
and click on the privacy button. On the privacy button.
Yeah.
When I click on the privacy button, since that's an action now.
All right. So now you need to be careful about something. When you are writing this, if what the clause that you are writing has got "and" inside, maybe you need to split it into 2. That's a rule of thumb. Do you get it? Now, maybe you look at, why am I putting "and"? Some cases might not be so, but in most cases, right, it's always so, because you are using an "and." That means there's tendency that you can split them into 2. Do we get that?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so line 3, what should happen?
Line 3 should be split into 2.
It should be split
It should
into
be, and I locate the privacy policy.
two.
The
Good.
privacy policy button.
Okay, brilliant. Can we do that? Can we insert another column there? How do we insert column? Oh, sorry, rows.
Just have to click enter.
Insert step.
Insert step, thank you.
the privacy policy.
Is that correct? Nobody's talking.
If that
IS is not invisible, is visible, is visible.
now the expected results, line 2 should be that the footer section is visible because the step is to work on the footer section. Then the expected results should also be talking about the footer section, not the privacy policy.
You are
Okay,
high,
all
you
right.
are hired. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. That is brilliant.
that
As you
is-
can as you can see now, we already missed that. And it does happen, right? At work. That you
High
because
for details.
exactly. And also because the joy of copy and paste, people just copy and paste stuff and then they forget it, they didn't edit the rest. Do you get? But which is good now, good spot. You actually spotted it, which is brilliant.
Well done. Well
And
done.
even though we have almost 32 eyes looking at it, they didn't see it. Do you get it now?
Save your
So
own
you
code.
have to change the number 4. Remove the allocate.
Yes.
Guys, hurry up. Oh. Tomorrow and next tomorrow you have long nights, so get prepared.
No, don't delete. Why are
You
you
don't need
deleting?
this step.
Okay, you need to insert another thing there. Okay. Okay, all right. You have it in line 4 anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, is to remove the allocate. Yeah, he has done that.
Okay, all right, okay.
User should be directed to privacy policy.
Then, when I click on the privacy policy button in the footer, the user should be directed to the privacy policy page. Then, step 5. When I check the URL part, the URL should change to reflect the privacy policy page. Then, when I click on the privacy policy button footer, sorry, is this one? I think you're repeating this step.
Okay, what's the mistake?
Look from this number step 5. When I check the URL part, now already in the URL page based on the step 5. So I don't think we should go back to step 6 again. You get my point.
Yeah, you need to
I agree
delete
with you.
that.
Yeah, you're correct.
Okay, then and upon again. Since now that we're in the new page, I think we should start from the precondition again. I think that's
So now, what do you say? Now that I'm on new page, is that what you said?
now that you're on a new page, I think we need to start a new test case, something like that. Because we're testing the old page again. We're not just testing the we're no more testing the footer button again.
Because this was written according to the, except the, what, how
I
do I
think
put it now?
this thing now, this what I observe is, maybe we have to check the story again for this.
Yes.
That is it to see that the privacy policy is there, or that the privacy policy is clickable or
It's
not
clickable.
clickable? Because from step 5 now, we will see that the test, if it's just that the privacy policy is on the footer, our test cases should stop at test 5. Because from at step 5 rather, but from step 6, you have already clicked on the privacy policy, and you are now going
And it's
to
working.
view and also to verify the privacy policy page, which is another story on its own.
1 second, let me open the, so that you can understand why that. See the additional information.
Okay.
That's the reason why that is.
But that doesn't mean that you may not split your test cases into 2. Do you get it now?
Okay.
It's
can
too
do
big
it.
for it to be one. And
Yeah.
the
Yeah, you can
BAs,
do
what
that.
happened?
Mm.
And again, so are they supposed to be, okay, this is sprint 2. Have you viewed this before? Or they just put the view and the clicking together as one test case?
What do you mean?
For say sprint 1, they would have viewed it first. But I think what the BAs did, they put you will view it and then you will also click on it.
Yeah, it's the sprint 2. So I think sprint 1 they would have done those ones.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's
But
what I
it's
would have.
fine,
But
right?
it's too big for one text.
It's fine. It's just, yeah, if you look at it at work, it's just a simple test. Look at the privacy policy, check it and move on. That's just me. To be honest. And that's another thing I want to tell you. Even writing test scripts is even the biggest job. The testing part is easy, to be honest. Even if you don't write test script, if you know what you are doing, using experience based, I think Rita mentioned that last time anyway, using experience based. So you just look at it, you know what you're looking at. It's fine. You don't even read the spec. But let's move on. So go back to your test script, right? Let's stop at step 5, right? For now, right? For now, you can actually duplicate this test. Actually, you can duplicate it. But now, one thing I want to say is that step 5, what should it be?
And I checked the URL part. And I checked the URL part.
Validate.
Okay.
I validate.
Okay, I validate. But what should be the beginning word?
Then.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because that's for validation.
Yes, because we are checking, we are validating. So that should be a then. So because that's the final validation, then the rest we can start on a new story, on a new test case rather.
Now I want to ask, sorry, how do we, since there is no other story populated for this privacy policy, how do we write another test case for this?
Because you know that you've not finished everything on that story, right?
Yes.
And you've kind of checked one thing, and there's still a lot of things to check, right?
Sure.
So for you to do that, to check another thing, okay, let's say, and I validate URL. Do you get it now? Path. So that is that. So, but you still want to continue. And to be honest, it's not really, so unless you are still going to be checking, right? Then that's fine. You can put everything in this particular test case. But if you have to now start clicking around, clicking again, you might as well just put that in a new test entirely. Do you get it now? That you finish this one, you validated what you want, then you can check the next one.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Somehow I tried.
Another question is that is it possible for us to link our test cases together? So the when the person is viewing it, we're able to know that okay, this one is related to this other one.
Okay. So I think that leads us to another concept, which is called shared step. Right. So for instance, what you are saying right now, for us to do the next step, right, we might still need step 1 to 4, right? So, and what we could do is to combine step 1 to 4 into one group of tests, then use it in the next step. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Sir, are you doing that today?
Okay. I think what I'm getting from Rita now is like
No, because it might be confusing. We had that with the last set.
okay, all right. Let's keep that for now.
Too
Anyway.
early. Yeah.
Yes.
Once
Let's
you
keep
people
that.
understand how to write test case, I'll take you guys on the share steps.
Okay.
Because otherwise, everybody will be doing share step without not knowing when to use share step.
That is deep.
No, it's not deep. It's what we've seen in the past. It's not like I'm saying, of course, 1 or 2 persons could understand it and be able to use it. But let's just take it one step at a time so that we don't. There'll be workshops henceforth, and then myself and Rexford and all your other mentors will be assisting you on that. So we'll get to share steps. But first of all, let's understand how to write test cases. That's just all I'm saying. It's not like yeah, Ugochi, yeah.
Please, Deji, before you go, I know you might go at any time. Please, can you just see me through with that step?
Don't worry,
Please?
you got Rita here. She's there for you.
No, sir, my time is.
Please, sir, it wouldn't take long. Just
People
I
have
need a step, just a single step.
people have automation tomorrow.
Stop saying sir.
Exactly.
Please,
Thank
Deji,
you.
please, so I'm sorry. Please,
Okay,
Deji.
all right. So don't worry, we'll look at this. Oh, and we have to finish in 10 minutes. Yeah. So one thing I want to say now, right? So okay, you need to remove line 6 and 7 and start that one on a new test case. Okay.
Copy it and put it on your notepad. Don't delete it.
Okay,
Just
I think there's a way that you can even duplicate. Go to the 3 ellipses, right? On the right, the 3 dots, on the right, it's called ellipsis. The beside, yeah, that one, click on it. You see copy. Do we have copy work item? Yeah. Okay. So, you can click on OK. Hold on. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, I think it's fine. Right.
It has done that. Privacy policy 2A.
No, it's actually linked that I'm looking at. Cancel it first. Close it. Don't say leave. No, cancel and leave. Okay, now do it again. So before it said include links.
Include existing link.
Yeah, and include chat. Just click on those check boxes because you want to include their links and yeah, and click OK. Okay, all right, yeah, this is better. So we have the related
the copy.
Yeah. So yeah. So now this is the copy. You can now remove those ones like number 1. Yeah. I think even you still need line 1. You don't need line 2 again, right? You don't need to say scroll down to get you open it, just say okay, and you click yeah. So you can continue. No. This is the second one, right?
This is the first
This is the
one.
original one, the first
This
one.
is the original one. Okay, all right, cool. No problem. That's fine then. So where's the one that you are creating now?
The copy.
Yeah, the copy.
I think he closed it.
Oh, if it's closed, then it's already gone. I don't think you saved it.
It's saved.
Okay, all right. We'll go and check anyway.
Damilola, your hand is up. Are you not the one sharing your screen?
Can see. Okay, save and close. Okay, so okay, all right, that's the other one. Okay, you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
change.
okay.
Yeah, so one thing that you need to do now, go click on it again, right? So you need to be specific on the title, right? Because that one, even the one that you did, right, just say privacy policy. But what are you
Yeah.
doing on privacy policy?
Mm.
You
I
need
will
to be
follow.
able to say something, right? So whether you are validating the URL, I think that's what you did. Validating the URL of a private policy. That's what you've just tested. Do you get it now? Of privacy policy page.
This is the copy now.
Okay. Then after that, what do you want to establish? So we'll leave you to sort this one out. Do you get it now? So after you get the URL, right, what do you want to test? You want to test the content of that privacy policy. Do you get it now?
Yes.
So based on what your additional information says on the, but you still need the given, go to the page. Do you get it now? You can press on undo. Okay, all right. There's undo button anyway. So yeah, you still need the line 1, okay. And even you might even leave the other one, line 2, or yeah. But you need line 1, then line 2, you click on the privacy policy, okay. And after you click on it, then you go to that particular page. Do you get that's what you need? You need line 1, 4, right? And then you can continue, right? So line 1, line 4. So then you can look at what it says on the additional information and continue like that, okay? So now to address Igoshi's question specifically, right? So go back to the first one that you did. Okay, so I told Ugochi, right? This is your preparatory stage, right? When you write your test plan, you are preparing for your test. And another thing is executing your test, right? This is now when the application is ready and you want to verify or validate that your requirement was your test script actually works. So that is what you need to do now. So now what do you need to do? You open the website on another tab, right? Okay. So the website, your application is saying go to MentorSkill website. You are there right now. Go back to the next one, right, to the tab and see what the next step say. The next step says scroll to the footer section. You go to the application and scroll to the footer section. Okay, so this is the footer section. Go back to the application, to your test. The next step says and allocate privacy policy. So, and the expected result is the policy is visible. Let's see if the privacy policy is visible. Yes, it is visible. Then go back again. And it said, then I click on the privacy policy button in the footer, then go back to the application, click do what you are expected to do. But hold on, before you go back, let's see. Okay, all right, go back. Okay, so the expected result says that the user should be able to redirect to a privacy policy page. Then, okay, you've clicked on it. What do you see? This is not the privacy policy page. Right.
It failed.
Yeah. So technically this failed. Right.
It's a bug.
It's a bug. So you need to raise a bug. Had it been you were directed rightly and it's fine, then that test, you continue to the next one. Do you get it now? The next one is just you checking the URL, right? Then I validate URL path and then you just say, okay, yeah. So you just continue like that. If that failed, that was okay, and then the URL is fine. So that means it is okay. So that is the execution step. This is one way to execute your step. But now we found that this fails. What do you need to do when it fails? You need to create a bug.
Come under discussion. I think we come under discussion. Raise a bug.
Yeah, exactly.
And attach the developer's name. Okay.
Exactly. So you can go to add links. Okay. Add links. Yeah. And new item, the same thing. And change from test case this time around to bug. And write the bug. And then you write the content. What did you find out? Okay, privacy policy page not visible. I'll put page there. Okay, you click on OK. That opens, yeah. Now, this is, I know that you will see how to go through how to create a bug. This is one way of creating a bug, okay? Fortunately, in Azure DevOps, there are a lot of ways to do different things. So we try as much as possible to teach you those conventional ways, okay? But as you go along, you're going to be finding different ways. You get it now. This is one way, right? There are other ways. So now what you need to do is you need to, put your reproductory steps. Reproductory steps are the steps that you need to take for you to be able to establish the bug again, right? How can you recreate the bug? All right. So technically, what you are saying is you would copy and paste your test script, right? And put it there. Do you get it now? Or you will write it. That's basically what I'm saying. But there's other step that will kind of automatically copy your step and dump it for you, right? We're going to talk about that one later anyway. But for now, you can now say, okay, go to MentorSkid, click on privacy policy at the footer, then, yeah, and that's it. You will see your result, right? Then the page is not displayed as expected. That's all. Do you get my point now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any
So, sir,
questions?
after Deji, the next place to go to is at the top where we have in QA. Then we click on it to change to design.
Okay.
Is
All
it?
right. So let me say, I think what you're asking is a different thing entirely. Okay. But I know is for that there are a lot of
Damilola, you are doing some. Damilola, you are doing something else. You are
okay.
not
There are a lot of moving parts. Okay. And you just need to understand the process first. Okay. And then we also need to know how to execute each of the processes in there, right? Okay, where do I start? Let's start from very beginning in the next 5 minutes. I'll go through this quickly in 5 minutes. Just put the steps here. Okay, click on, you're going to do that one later anyway. So, and you can click on close, save and close. Then later you can put the step. You need to put the repository step here. Okay, so close this one, right? I'm not sure. When do you have your next class? When do you have your next training?
Tomorrow.
What time?
That they are
Tomorrow?
doing Java tomorrow.
Whoa.
With Oyi.
Whoa. Okay.
So we might have workshop maybe next week or week after, maybe after a successful completion of their installation of the
Of the
tools.
Java.
Mm.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, the system automatically lost me out. Please, Goshi was asking a question the other time. I was talking about design. I don't know, maybe when I log out, I missed that place, please.
Yeah, I don't know where you lost anyway, but this session is being recorded and you can catch up on where you left, which I don't know. So, but one thing I can say is like, yeah. Okay, because what I'm talking about now, there are a lot of process and I don't want to confuse you, right? So let's stop there where what we did right now, right? The focus is you being able to write your test cases, right? Okay. It's okay if you miss one step or the other. I want what I want you to achieve this week is I know how to create test cases and I can create them, right? And you know how to execute the test script as well. And for that, if you're able to do that, yeah, you are an achiever for this particular sprint. Does that make sense?
Thank you, yes.
Yeah. Then after that, we'll talk about the process again. It's okay if you get the process wrong. We're going to go through it again. I'll take time to go through each of the process, creating task, okay? And then creating your story, right? Oh no, you are not creating story, creating tasks, creating test cases again. But this time around, we will not be creating test cases, putting the details in, because I'm going to assume that you know what to do. We'll only focus on the steps. Do you get it now? On the process. Okay. Now it's the beginning of your sprint. What do you need to do? You create your tasks, you create your stories, you create your what's it called? Your test cases, you run your test cases. If there's bug, you create your bug, you move your tasks to keyway done or in keyway. We're going to look at that in holistic way. So let's see. I can do Friday night, right? If you guys are okay.
They are
right?
doing Java Thursday, Friday. That's why I
Thursday.
said they will
I
have
thought so.
long nights.
Okay,
I think
all
that's what Laomi said, but I don't know if that's changed. But yeah.
okay, all right. So what's going to happen
Let
if
me
you
check the timetable.
Okay, you can check it here.
Yeah, that's fine. I have power to hijack these meetings anyway, so that's fine. So what's going to happen is like maybe on Friday, right? I will ask the tutor to give me maybe 10 or 15 minutes, right, to go through this manual process. Do you get it now during your Java training? So it might be maybe at the end or something. Let's look into that. If not, next week we'll look at this anyway.
I think Thursday we are having introduction to automation. That's today. We're having introduction to automation, Visual Studio installation. And then Friday, we have automation also.
Yeah, I think that's what Rita said as well. Okay, all right. Let's leave it like
Saturday is
that.
for Java development.
So you have Thursday, Friday, and
Installation of
Saturday.
C#.
Is that what I had?
There's no C# there. Maybe that was
No,
a
I
mistake.
think that's what he said.
It won't be C#. Maybe that, yeah. It's going to be Java anyway. So
He said Visual Studio.
yeah, no, it won't be Visual Studio. It
Yeah,
won't be.
Thursday is introduction. Thursday is introduction to automation / Visual Studio or Studio
yeah, it was a
installation.
mistake.
Yeah,
Dayo did
just-
point out that to me, but I thought allow me corrected it.
Yeah,
I'll let her know.
Yeah, it's just the joy of copy and paste, isn't it? So don't worry.
Yeah, because even there she had 2023 and we are in 2024.
Yeah,
Dayo
because
caught my attention.
normally do it, alternatively anyway.
Yeah.
We've done
Just
C#
finished
last time.
C#.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is Java. Yeah. Okay. All
Okay,
right.
so
Let's
we are
stop
having
here
Java. We are having Java today.
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
We are still
It's
today.
morning already.
No,
Yeah,
it's not
in
yet.
your
It's
own
after
side.
11.
In the
In your
UK.
own side.
Yeah. In UK, this program is UK time, but it's not yet midnight. So
So yeah,
unfortunately.
it is well.
Okay.
though.
Yeah, exactly. So you are in the UK when you join this program. So, and the time is 11:10. So, okay. All right. So I think we're going to stop now at this time so that we don't cross into midnight anyway, like some people are. So we'll meet again, if not Friday or Saturday. I will take some time out of those time. So you guys have Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Yeah. So well, all the best.
Early Saturday.
Yeah, you guys asked for it because you've been complaining that you've not been having, so now they can pack everything for you. But let's see how everything goes anyway. So yeah, all right, cool. Thank you so much, Rita. Have a good night.
Deji, sorry, before you go, this is not about the training. My team, we've been trying to reach out to our mentor and buddy, but we want to send them a message. Let me put it that way. Not that they're not available, but we don't have their handle on Telegram, so it's been very challenging to reach out.
So you mean the Kiwi mentor and the Kiwi body?
Yes.
Okay. So, and June, what you need to do is check your list, okay, that Olawumi sent. The first thing you need to check, who are the mentors? Do you get?
I have their name actually.
Okay,
but
right.
I don't know how to send them message.
No, look at the list on Telegram. Look at the list on Telegram. When you look at the list, you would kind of find out who is who. Do you get it now? And if you might not see them, if you don't see them on your group, go and check on the Kiwi Guild.
Yeah, they should be on the QA Guild. So,
Yes.
I don't know who they are.
Yeah, they should be on your on your team as well. Anyway, but if they're not on your team, check your Kiwi Guild and then talk to them on the Kiwi Guild.
Damola, can you stop recording?
Okay.